YouTube, what is going on? I got a comment in the comment section today of the video I dropped today. That's doing horrible, by the way. It's been 6 hours and it only have 2,000 views. I'm showing love to you guys in the Facebook group. But it's okay. This video, we're going to be reacting to a legendary barber I used to watch on YouTube when I was coming up, trying to learn how to cut hair. Graham Burns said, I would like to see your take on Timeless Vick, the OG barber. He just put out a video. When I saw that, I'm like, yeah, I definitely got to check out Vick's channel because it's been a while since he dropped anything. Let's check it out. You know, one thing that people don't know about Vick is Vick the barber is probably the first huge influencer. And I know like his channel now only has, compared to today, it's not a lot of subscribers. But back then, he had the most subscribers on YouTube, period. I think he made a big impact in the industry. He mentored my business partner, Chris Loco. I think he's been a staple in the industry. He's been a little quiet lately, but it is what it is. He's still a legend in the industry. Let's check out this new video.
Yo, what's cracking YouTube? Today we're going to be doing a medium skin taper on the sides, low skin taper in the back, and pretty much an all even with the grain cut on top.
Yeah.
And of course, a crispy, natural lineup.
Yeah, I don't think I ever seen Vick do enhancements. I think he usually keeps everything organic.
Comb through the hair before you do any clipper work. Now I have a number 6 guard on my Wall Senior cordless clipper. And as you can see, I'm just going with the grain. I'm not taking it down too much.
It's interesting because with that technique, guys, when you pull the hair up, you take a section of that hair and you pull it up like as if you were going to cut flat layers. What you're going to notice is it looks like the hair is texturized. Because when you're going with the grain, it's not a clean cut, but it does smoothen the hair out. And the reason why it smoothens the hair out isn't because it's cut in complete sections of length. It's because it's almost feathering. It's almost texturizing the hair. And so when it lays softer, it lays smoother. It's almost like point cutting hair. Try that out one time, going with the grain like Vick is doing here and then pulling the hair up, vertical sections up. You'll see the hair is nice and light at the ends. And that's what's creating that smooth brushback look. I don't know if you guys have ever thought about it to that level, but this does work and it's very popular, I feel like, especially in Hispanic and Latin barbershops. Look how smooth it's looking. Super smooth. But you gotta make sure you brush that hair back like Vick was doing in the beginning, how he was combing it back, making sure it was all laying nice, all in a specific direction, because this is just like cutting forward with the grain. My hair right now,
so
you cut with the grain.
My first step in creating a nice taper would be the necklines. Just lightly going around the ears, you can see right there, combing the hair down and keeping the hairline as natural as possible.
Yeah, that's
you could always tell a good haircut by the way it's grown out. So
that's facts. Right here. He's definitely a good canvas though. Some people you do have to get cosmetic, I feel like. He's a good canvas and Vick is gonna dominate this cut because he's gonna do exactly what this canvas needs. Very nice, clean lineup.
Now I'm going to be starting the blending of the neck taper. I got my Wall Senior adjusted all the way open.
He's going straight blade open. Vick's cuts, I think the way I would define them is just smooth. Very smooth, bro. His voiceovers are smooth.
Now I have my clipper adjusted all the way closed and I'm just blending out the very bottom of the taper.
And you could tell Vick is efficient.
Now I have a number 1 guard on my clipper and my clipper is adjusted to all the way open. And I'm going up about an inch.
That look like an inch and a half, but I know it's gonna come out crazy. I know it's gonna come out blurry, but that look like an inch and a half, bro. So what I was saying is he's very efficient, you could tell.
Now I have a number 1/16 guard on my clipper and I'm blending into that number 1 guard open. And my clipper is adjusted to halfway open at this point. And I'm pretty much just going to be bouncing back and forth from halfway open to closed to all the way open. You're going to have to learn how to play with it a little bit.
Bro, it's crazy how easy he makes it look. Like he was speaking all facts about how you have to really play with it, but he's making this look so easy right now, bro. Blade open, close it up, and then blend that area out. 1 open, and then start to blend that out with the half guard. And look how smooth it's coming out, making it look too easy. This is experience though, man. He's been doing this for a minute, man. You know, he's an OG.
I'm going to be putting on a 1.5 plastic guard on my Wall Senior. And I got my clipper adjusted all the way open. And from here on, the blending is pretty much easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Yeah, I just said that. But anyways, pretty much the hard part is already done.
Bro, it's coming out so
if it's
clean.
gonna blend, it's pretty much just gonna go right into it and blend.
I won't lie though, guys. On me, you put a 1.5 guard that high up in this area, and a 1.5 guard on me, because my hair's so fine and thin, it looks like this shade right here. But I think somebody with Vick's expertise, that's easy for him to pick up and he'd be able to adapt. But I guess the reason why I'm pointing that out is if you're new to barbering, you can't go up with a 1.5 guard all the way up to the occipital bone like Vick is doing right now. You can't do that on everyone. Vick obviously has experience. He's been doing this a long time and he knows how to adapt to every client that he has. Just by combing through the hair and just by looking at the client, he could probably tell. But like for most of the people who are watching this, all my beginner barbers, like this ain't for everybody. If you do this on me, you're gonna have me looking looking crazy. That is so
hard
smooth.
part is over. And then from here, I'm gonna do a little clipper over comb work. Any little hair that's sticking out. Notice after I take a swipe, then I comb the hair down and see how it lays. And I take a swipe, and then I comb the hair down and see how it lays.
That's one thing I remember when I was watching Vick coming up, that the clip over comb technique was flawless. I could never get clip over comb quite like Vick could do it. Vick can do it and he's mastered it. I could never get to that point. It's not a technique that I really do because I just never felt comfortable doing it. No matter how many times I practiced it and tried, it wasn't for me. But Vick makes it look so easy. I'm just going back and doing some minor cleanup work with my wall sterling reflections. I'm going to be using my clipper open and closed to just basically blend out any little dark spots that I see that might make the blend not look as good as it could. So this is what's setting him apart right here. It looked good before he started detailing, and he's still detailing, you know. I ain't gonna lie, I'm looking at this like, Vick, you don't got detail no more, bro. That's blurry. I'm interested to see if he uses the shaver.
We're gonna be starting our mid-skin taper on the right side of the head. But before we get into that, I'm gonna do a little clipper over comb around the ear.
it.
So for the side taper, I'm gonna be using my sterling reflections, and I have my clipper adjusted all the way closed, and I'm just lightly going up enough to where I'm just gonna be like balding it out at the very, at the very bottom. I don't want to take it up too high, especially with his hair being that dark on the sides, because I just think tapers like that look kind of goofy. In some cases it looks cool, but for the most part, traditional tapers should be kept pretty low. Now I'm going to be balding out the very bottom with my slim lines.
I will say to that point, on some people, a low taper like that will look like he never got a haircut. On some textures of hair, on some people. And then demographics too, where you live. I feel like here in Florida and Tampa, like there's not a lot of people who want a low taper like that. They want the taper to pop. They want it to stand out. That is more important to people here than it is keeping this area dark. Many times, if I was to leave somebody's taper that low, they'll ask me to go up higher. And I'm doing like 2 haircuts in one, you know what I'm saying? It definitely depends on where you're at. I know that, like, for example, in Cali, slick backs are very popular, where here in Florida, not too much. There's not a lot of Hispanic dudes coming into the shop looking for dark slick back all the way around like that. But it's interesting to see, and it's dope to see how different barbering is in different regions of this country, in different parts of the world, in different parts of this country. I definitely think it's a dope cut. Don't get me wrong. In some areas, on some canvases, it might not be a pass. And that's the beauty about barbering. Barbering is an art. Barbering is one of those things where, first of all, every client ain't going to be for you. There are clients who have specific preferences. They're going to prefer somebody who's going to give them a higher taper than normal. Like with a low taper to them is not this, it's a little bit higher than that. And there's people who go on my page who, for example, come from the West Coast and they'll be like, yo, that's not a low taper, that's a mid. And I'm thinking to myself, if I did that as a low in my shop, again, people they be asking me to go a little bit higher. So it just depends. And it depends on the client too, the hair texture. But this is coming out crazy. The craziest part about it, I feel like he's barely even done anything and it already looks like it's tapered. It's dope.
Now I have a number 1 guard on there, and I got my clipper adjusted open, and little by little you'll see me closing it there, right there, and
look, and it's almost done.
And next I'm going to be putting my 1/16 plastic guard on there, and my clipper adjusted all the way closed.
It's crazy. He looks like he's very light-handed.
Now I have that 1.5 guard back on there with the clipper all the way open. I'm just lightly getting these hairs right here. I'm not really trying to take my taper up at all at this point. I really like where it's at. I like the way it's looking. Now I have a number 1 plastic guard on there, and I'm still just lightly grazing.
You know what? I take it all back. Now that I see him doing the 1 open and the 1.5 guard in this area. Yeah, this is a low taper. This is definitely a low taper even in Florida. I'll take it all back, but I think y'all got my point a little bit. It was still a little bit valid. Just now I'm starting to see the rest of the cut. I'm realizing this is a low taper regardless of how you put it.
Now I'm going to take my Wall 5-star screen shavers and bald out the very bottom of the taper.
Remember, I was asking.
Go up too high, just so I have that nice bald transition.
I was wondering if he was going to use a shaver.
I want to go ahead and get into the lineup portion of the haircut.
Does it look shiny? Does it look like he put spritz?
And from your boy has been using a lot of cordless clippers these days. I'm not going to lie.
I noticed.
The first pair of cordless clippers that I used, I didn't really feel like they lasted very long, and they didn't really have the power that I was used to. Now I'm starting to like them a lot more. And
Vic, you gotta try the skeletons, bro. If you watch this video,
yeah,
you gotta try the skeletons, bro.
Sometimes us old barbers, even though I'm not that old, I'm a lot older than some of you guys watching these videos.
Nah, he's not old. He's a OG. He's been doing it for so long. He's experienced. Let's just say that he's experienced.
But some of us OG barbers tend to want to stick to what we know and all that, but it's part of growth is just to try new things and see what else is out there, even though we could be stubborn at times. But so as you can see though, I'm still using my corded clippers. Got my Sterling Reflections in the building. I'll probably never completely stop using them, but I'm definitely going to incorporate other things into my bag of tricks. So.
The way technology is growing, bro, it's inevitable. It's inevitable that that they create cordless clippers that are way more efficient. If you stay with cords, it's just because you're used to it, in my opinion. Technology is just gonna keep growing, and it's gonna be what it is.
Okay, so now we're gonna be getting started on the taper on the left side, and I'm pretty much just gonna be doing the exact same steps and techniques that I was doing on the right side. So I'm just gonna let you guys follow along.
You know what's crazy about Vic too is the consistency. To cut hair like this with this type of system and it be consistent all the way through the whole cut is impressive. It's hard to do that. This comes with experience for sure. Notice on this side he didn't debulk first, he's debulking last. We all do that. I feel like we all switch it up in some way, shape, or form, because you start to get confident as throughout the cut. You play it safe on one side, you get confident, you just do your thing. Once you feel like you can dominate the cut easy. He's probably cut him before and that's how he feels, but it's still kind of like stretching. It's kind of like warming up. You know what I mean? You're used to playing basketball, but you still got to warm up. And then once you got your rhythm, you're taking over the game. He switched to the smaller trimmers to go behind the ears. You guys notice that? Talk about having tools for different purposes, right? Look, using the slim line again for behind the ear. That's experience right there, bro. And I bet you it's second nature.
And as you can see, I'm just lightly stretching the skin as I use my razor to go ahead and crisp out the hairline that I've already done previously with my Antis T-outliner clipper.
Vic keeps it very natural.
Definitely getting a nice curve there. Follow the natural hairline as much as possible. In this case, my client Carlos, he has a really good natural hairline.
I agree with that. I think he definitely has a nice natural hairline, but Vic is doing a great job of balancing natural with sharp. You know what I mean? Where I feel like even though he has a nice natural hairline, I feel like a lot of barbers would still dig into that hairline, would still push it a little bit. Where Vic is doing it very tastefully. To me, there is no push whatsoever, and he's still getting a sharp line. And that might have not been a hairspray or a spritz. It might have been
finish it off by
gel. I don't know.
A little bit of oil sheen on there.
That's my favorite oil sheen, the olive oil. My dad used to rock his hair like that, but he used to use a brush.
There it is.
To brush it back.
You see it. Nice natural hairline, clean, bald, crisp taper.
Clean, bro.
Done by yours truly. Make sure you like, follow, share, subscribe.
I feel like a lot of younger cats might watch that tutorial. Underrated, but that's a dope cut, man. Good to see Vic back, man. Great to see Vic back. I hope he's gonna be consistent with it. Guys, if you're new to his channel because you ain't been following YouTube barbering for as long as I have, just know this dude's an OG in the game. He's one of the first successful YouTube barbers. He literally was at the top of the game for a minute, bro. And he just took a break. So hopefully he's back for a bit, he stays consistent with it. Even myself, I would love to watch more of his content. He's got a lot to offer to the industry. And with that being said, guys, I'll put a link to his channel in the description below. Go check him out. Go subscribe. subscribe. Go watch the rest of his content. Yeah, we're gonna keep this going. If you guys want me to react to any other tutorials, any other barbers, let me know in the comments below. Like always, guys, we do daily content every day, and it means so much if you would subscribe. It makes me feel like I'm seeing results for all the hard work that myself and George is putting in. So please do subscribe, smash the like button. Let us know what you thought about the video in the comments once again. And with that being said, guys, see you on the next video.